Combining walking bass lines with chords is one of the best ways to accompany another musician, especially in a duo setting. You can provide a steady pulse with your bass notes while simultaneously outlining the harmony with chords. In this video, we'll focus on two essential scenarios, modal situations and quickly changing chords. We'll start with the fundamentals and gradually build up to more advanced ideas. Let's begin with modal settings. In this context, modal means the harmony stays the same for an extended period. Let's say we're going to outline a C major chord for several bars. We'll use the bottom 3 strings of the guitar for our bass notes. Here's our first task. Find the root C on strings 6, 5, and 4. The root provides the foundation. The next most important note is the 5th, which adds stability to the harmony. Let's find the 5th in relation to each root. Before that, what's the 5th of C? Quickly remind me.
Wait, what?
That's right.
G!
Okay, from the 6th string root, go up 1 string and move up 2 frets. From the 5th string root, we can go up 1 string and move up 2 frets to find G. Or we can stay on the same fret and go down 1 string to find low G. From the 4th string root, we'll use the G on the 5th string below the root to stay within our 3-string range. Alternating between the root and the 5th can be considered a very basic but rock-solid version of a bass line. So let's hear what that sounds like. First with the root on the 6th string. Now with the root on the 5th string. If we use only roots in 5th, our bass line won't clearly define the harmony. We could be outlining any of the following chords: C major, C minor, C7. That's what we call chordal ambiguity. So how do we make our bass lines clearly define the chord? The answer is just 2 notes away. To clarify the harmony, we need to add the 3rd. The 3rd determines whether a chord is major or minor. For C major, we need to add major thirds to our lines. What's the major third of C?
I'm sorry, what?
The answer is E. Let's locate E relative to the root C on the 6th string. We can stay on the same string and move up 5 frets. We can go up 1 string and move down 1 fret to reach the same pitch. We can also go down 9 frets and play a low E on the open 6th string. For the root on the 5th string, the same pattern applies. From the root, we can move up 5 frets to reach the major 3rd. We can go up 1 string and move down 1 fret. We can also play a low E on the open 6th string. For the root on the 4th string, we can go up 5 frets to reach an E. We can't go to a higher string that's outside our 3-string range, but we can go down 1 string and move down 4 frets. Before we incorporate the 3rd into our bass lines, we need to do one more thing. The whole premise of this video is to combine bass lines with chords, so let's look at 2 simple C major chords we can easily use. Here's a root position C major voicing with the root on the 6th string. And here's one with the root on the 5th string. To keep things easy for now, we'll use chords only on beat 1 of a measure. We'll thing together and play a simple bass line that features the root, 3rd, and 5th combined with the root position voicing. Let's do this again, but slightly faster. Here's another one that is slightly more challenging because it involves a position change. Let's do this a bit faster. It's beginning to sound more and more complete, but we're still missing something. There's one more chord tone that provides additional harmonic differentiation. That is the seventh. For dominant or minor chords, we use a minor seventh. In our case, however, we need a major seventh. Let's check out where we can find the major seventh B in relation to the root C on the sixth string. From the root, we go down one fret. Or we can go up two strings and move up one fret. We can repeat this for the root on the fifth string. Just move down one fret. Going up puts us out of range. Let's find the seventh in relation to the root on the fourth string. We can go down one fret, and again going up puts us outside the bass range. Before we incorporate the seventh into our bass lines, let me show you one more chord shape. This one is a root position major seventh voicing for the fourth string. This first exercise stays in close proximity to the roots on the fourth and sixth string. Here's another example that stays close to the root on the fifth string. So far we've been using all the basic chord tones for our bass lines. That sounds limited and creates angular lines. Let's smooth things out by using the whole chord scale. For C major 7, we'll use C Ionian. We can also add a chromatic passing tone between the 5th and 6th degrees for even smoother motion. That way it's easier to put chord tones on the strung beats, particularly the first downbeat of a measure. Now let's check out all the available bass notes on the 6th string. Here's what that looks like on string 5. Finally, let's check out string 4. Let's practice this by combining chords and lines on each string individually. Let's look at the 5th string. One more string to explore. We need to talk about rhythm for a moment. Instead of placing chords only on beat 1, we can also place them on the end of 1 and create some rhythmic variety that way. Here's an exercise that showcases the different placements. Now we have all the necessary ingredients to create great sounding walking bass lines we can combine with chords. Let's go through a couple of quick examples that make use of all 3 bass strings. Now let's look at the opposite of modal playing, quickly changing chords. A common example is the turnaround. A turnaround often occurs at the end of a section or a tune. In major keys, it commonly consists of the chord progression 1, 6, 2, 5. The harmonic rhythm is often 2 chords per bar, making it more challenging at higher tempos. There's one simple trick that will make your lines sound instantly professional. But before we go there, we first need to find the root of our chords. Let's check out the chords we're going to use. The formula 1, 6, 2, 5 and C works out to be C major, A7, D minor and G7. I opted for the stronger A7 instead of the diatonic A minor 7. Now we can check out the roots of our chords. Let's quickly review. C, and G. Because the harmonic rhythm is so tight, we only get to play 2 notes per change, half of which will consist of roots. The other half will be approach notes to the next root. The smoothest and most effective way to approach a note is by half step. This is what the pros are using.
Yes!
Let's look at the roots of our turnaround, notated in half notes. Now let's add a chromatic approach note from below for each root. We can also approach the roots with a chromatic approach note from above. The bass line is more or less taken care of, so let's now check out the chords we're going to use. For the 1 chord, we're all set. The 6th chord is a dominant 7th. Here are great sounding simple shapes for A7 on the 6th string, on the 5th string, and on the 4th string. Let's check out the 2 chord D minor 7 with the root on the 6th string. For the 5th string, 3rd position, or a voicing in 5th position. For the 4th string, finally, for the 5 chord G7, we're going to use the same shapes we were using for A7, just transposed to the right pitch. Here they are for the 6th string, for the 5th string, and for the 4th string. Before I let you go, don't forget to check out the channel for more walking bass line and chord related music. Easy to play tunes and other examples coming up shortly. Now we can have some fun. Play along these cool comping examples. Happy practicing!